Hi, thank you. Salam alem. Aleme actually derives from Arabic, but it became part of Kazakh language and Turkic languages. And of course, Central Asia is vast. It's 4 million square kilometers. It's half of the territory of United States. And it's 80 million people. And in the last 10 years, the population grew at 3.7%. And actually, the median age is 27.6 years. So we are even younger than it was presented here. But of course, being the blind spot, I will ask you, how many people have you been to Central Asia? Okay, so something to do, next destination. But did you know that Central Asia has actually been plugged into the global fashion and creative industries, and that Louis Vuitton, Prada, Hermes, Dior, Dolce Gabbana, Giorgio Armani, and other big brands have had their stores, and that Saks, Chopin, Graf, Chaumet, and other jewelry stores in the last 10 years have welcomed the customers from the whole region. And that Uzbekistan, one of our big emerging markets, is number 8 cotton producer in the world. And it's working in the silk industry as well. And that, did you also know that because of the geopolitical situation with Ukraine and Russia, a lot of Russian tourists now come to Central Asia as a shopping destination? And maybe you know that the UAE and Saudi companies are the middlemen to bring on H&M and Zara to our markets. And these two brands have more than a dozen stores in the region. And of course, maybe you know that we have some magazines like Harper's Bazaar, Elle Kazakhstan, Elle Uzbekistan, Marie Claire, but maybe you don't. So there's something to ChatGPT or Google, whatever the platform you use. But of course, I can share a lot of data with you, but I'd like to actually speak not only about the natural resources where we have oil and gas and uranium. Actually, Kazakhstan is #1 uranium producer, and the ferroalloys, the zinc and copper, and of course the fashion market is big. It's $10.7 billion, and it's growing really fast. But what I'd like to actually speak about here is our character, our soul, to go beyond the numbers and beyond the body, go into the soul and go into our consciousness. Because of course the geography of us being between the East and the West enriches us and it challenges us. And we have been covered by the Iron Curtain, and we have been covered by the Russian umbrella. And a lot of people, when they asked me where I'm from and I said from Kazakhstan, they always said, oh, you're Russian, but I'm not Russian. And the Uzbeks are not Russian, and the Tajiks, the Turkmen and Kyrgyz, and a lot of other nationalities. So actually, it's very difficult to be a blank spot or the blind spot on the map. But I'd like to also speak about the nomadic culture that we are the inheritance of and descendants of, because the nomads are the big spenders. And you know why? Because the nomads never attach to anything. They have to move from one place to another. They have to travel light. And if they lose anything, they say, okay, I'll buy the new collection. And I'm not attached to anything. And I have to leave now because the climate is so harsh and you are left to your own devices and you don't know when the life really will end. So you spend now, you live now, and you celebrate life now, here. And a lot of people try to picture the nomads unsophisticated. But when they come to the big bazaars of the ancient medieval cities that are as old as Rome and Athens, like Samarkand, for example, you see that they can shop and they can get access to the best in the world. And the global Silk Road, Great Silk Road, was the internet of that time. It was the net-a-porter of that time. And you could have instant access to the ermine and silks from China, the corals from Oceania, the spices from India, the Murano glass from Venus, the Barguzin sable from Siberia, and you could be really fashionable, and you could be really wearing the newest collections in the world. So the nomads actually were in a very close contact with the cities, the sedentary civilizations, which were also carrying as part of our identity. And of course, the nature was our friend, and the nature was our partner. And because we were in the great vast steppes, we were talking to the nature, and color in our culture has some amazing definition and notion. For example, white in Kazakh or in Turkic language, ak means, you can say ak niyet, which means white intention or sincere intention. Or you can say ak jol, which means the white path, lucky path. They say like good travels, you say ak jol. Or you can say ak kongel, which means the white spirit, this sincere wish or well-wishing or auspicious wishes. So anyway, we have so much to uncover, and I can't thrust it into 12 minutes that I'm given. But also, fashion as an expression of our mentality is, of course, about our values, that we, of course, we valued money, we valued the fame and the power, but we always valued something that is included and encapsulated in the word Kyrgyzstan. And Kyrgyzstan means that has seen a lot. Not the rich, not the powerful, but the one that experienced a lot. And that we have experienced. And even, for example, when somebody young would travel the world and they would come to the settlement back, the elderly people would go and see them because they wanted to hear the stories. And they would say, Aksakal would go to listen to the Bala, you know, and because we always wanted to learn about the world. And we were great storytellers. And the observation and contemplation is in our DNA. And of course, fashion is also passion, but it's also the reflection of post-colonial trauma that we're still dealing with. And we were the colony in the last 400 years. Before the Soviet period, it was the Russian Tsarist regime. But before that, we were we were the conquerors ourselves, because Alexander the Great came to where we were. Genghis Khan came and Tamerlan came. So we are the descendants, both the metropolis and the colony. We are an amazing and vibrant and understandable mix of everything. And so our identity has been denied in the last few centuries. And even, like, for example, in my country, Kazakhstan or Kyrgyzstan, by 1954, the Kazakhs were only 39% of the ethnic composition. And today, 50% of Kazakhs don't speak Kazakh. And I learned Kazakh as a foreign language because I'm a polyglot. I speak several languages. So language for nomadic people is so important because language is our monuments. Language is our palaces, our aqueducts, and temples that we haven't built because we are nomadic people and we don't build the material objects. Our tradition and our soul is in our oral messages and spiritual values that we transfer from the master to the disciple, from the parent to the child. And we have been denied that. And after we became independent in 91, the independence was a gift, but it was also a big challenge for us because we weren't used to it. Because when you're a colony for 400 years, it's very difficult to be independent, and it's very difficult to be confident, and it's very difficult to be sure of yourself. But we're learning, and we're learning from the young nations that I've heard in the presentations before me, and I'm really thankful to the BoF for this opportunity because I think it's an amazing experience. And also, I wanted to say that our big cities and the whole territory, we were always between the big movements. We were always in the middle of things, and we were the crossroads. And we are the crossroads today because we are a link and a bridge between West and East, between the structured and relationships, between the written word and the oral, between the goal and the process. It's like the sun and the moon. It's like the masculine and feminine. And we are Eurasians, so we encompass the two. And it's a very difficult mission to accomplish, but we're doing our best. And we live peacefully together because in our cities, the Persian language, the Arab language, the Turkic language, Slavic, the Chinese Han language, they're all spoken together. And all the faiths were practiced at the same time. Zoroastrian, Judaic, Christian, Muslim, Tengrian, Hindu, Buddhist, and agnostics and atheists. And people have in our DNA that we live together and we sincerely love each other, we respect each other. And after Stalin deported so many people to Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan and Kyrgyz Republic, we became the prison during the World War II and during the Soviet period. But a lot of people, Koreans, Bulgarians, the Poles, the Germans, the Chechens, the Cherkess, I can stand here for another hour to list all the nationalities because we have more than 150 nationalities. They call it home. And I'm so thankful that my land could be a home to everyone. And of course, we have the opportunities for business. It's of course the raw materials, the cotton and silk that I mentioned, but also the wool, the sheep wool, the camel wool. And during the 90s, Kazakh Soviet Socialist Republic was #3 producer of sheep heads. So we lost it a little bit, but now it's picking up. And of course, the new fibers like linen and hemp and others. And of course, the manufacturing, the textiles. The retail has a lot of mid segments that are still underpenetrated. The human capital. In the former Soviet Union and in Central Asia, of course, we still don't have the top-level international fashion and creative industry schools. So if you are an educator, please come to our market because our human capital is amazing. It's young, it's dynamic, and it's 100% literate, and it's multi-language, and it's these are the people that are quick learners. And of course, the crafts, the cultural exports that my colleagues have mentioned, the felting, the design that I'm wearing, it's actually my design. So felting, and I also work with the artisans, and this is the patchwork. And we also have stone carving, bone carving, wood carving, jewelry, amazing loop embroidery that you now have on the screens. These people are waiting for the next step, and I would be glad to go to Saudi Arabia, to any other centers that would offer us the stage to show ourselves and show our messages that have amazing ideograms and spiritual messages to get across to the world. And of course, the creative industries and innovation ecosystem that I personally work with, because we don't only do the talent contests, but we breed the startups the innovation based on fashion, design, and 21 creative industries working together and on the intersection of digital technologies. And lastly, I want to say that we are more than just a consumer and a market. We want to be the author of ideas, author of design and art. And we're not just the raw material appendix. We're not banana republics. We want to be the creators of value. And we're not just a destination. We are the, on the world's list, like to visit, but we are the center of the world because we have been that and we feel that. And if the world looks at us and works with us as a partner, as a collaborator and investor, and some people like Estonians, Hungarian, Japanese, and Turkey people, they think that their civilization started at the land where the horse was first domesticated, where the apples and tulips come from, and where the first man flew to space in 1961 in southern Kazakhstan by Konger. So I just invite you to, of course, invest in Central Asia. And thank you for your attention. And thank you, BoF.